So on this episode of Social Allies, I am sat with the amazing Mike Winnet. Mike, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Mike Winnet. I am a businessman that's also on YouTube. I won't say YouTuber. And I make content about marketing, business, social media, get rich quick, scammers, all sorts of shit. Entrepreneurs, as I call them, lots of stuff.
So we've got quite a big listeners mainly are in Tees Valley, and we've got quite a big business sector there. So for people who don't know what the entrepreneur is, obviously I do.
Yeah.
How would you explain the entrepreneur?
So long story short, I used to have a proper business that did real stuff, that sold real things to real people. I was lucky enough to sell that business for £8 million. And then they basically paid me not to work for 2 years. Now there's loads and loads of content out there for how to grow your audience, how to scale your business. And there's lots of things to help you sell more and get better at marketing. There's loads of content out there like that. But I felt that there wasn't much content out there for what actually happens if you do achieve that dream or the goal. So originally I was just looking online for content that I wanted to watch. Like, what does a working class lad that doesn't really know much about money, where do we invest our money? What do we do with our money? So I looked for experts to try and learn from them and then invest my money. That was my original idea. And I realized that as soon as you start typing in questions like how to invest £2 million or how to invest in property, or, how to invest in crypto mining, whatever it might be, I was literally bombarded with advert after advert of like Chad, 23-year-old American guy sat on a Lamborghini telling me, someone that's just built a business and sold a business for £8 million, that I was stupid. I could have earned more money just from 2 hours a week on my mobile, on the beach, living a life like Chad. So I just thought, fucking hell, this is crazy. Why don't I just click all of their ads, sign up to all their courses, do their courses, and just make content about what I thought was bullshit that they sold? And I lost £500,000 doing stuff that didn't make any money. But it made good content. So
It made amazing content.
Yeah, and that's how I got involved in it. So I never knew any of these gurus. So I'd never heard of people like Gary Vee. Like, I didn't know Gary Vee existed. I never knew Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez. I didn't know any of these gurus existed. So these sort of like celebrity business gurus, until after I'd actually built, scaled and sold my own business. I only knew this world existed after I got the money. And I think there's a whole generation of people that follow these guys that are more bothered about watching their content and looking like they're successful than actually doing the work and being successful.
Yeah, so it's more like looking like you are and having that brand presence. And
I say this. I say The Rock probably doesn't sit at home watching gym motivation videos. Where is he? He's at the gym. Actually getting the body that, he's got. But for some reason, there's a whole generation of people that think that they can circumnavigate that hard work, finding a sector that's underserviced, coming up with an idea to have a business, marketing their business well, doing the right things. They think that they can learn how to become a millionaire or become a 6-figure coach, 7-figure coach, 8-figure coach from just attending a 14-hour course in Basingstoke on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And there's a whole industry built on that premise. It blows my mind.
It does me as well. Like, I've been not suckered into it because I haven't bought it, but like, you see them all over, don't you? Like the courses and stuff.
Yeah, and it's the same 5 or 6 people in the UK, same 5 or 6 people in America. Well, I'll say it's 5 or 6, probably 500 or 600. But they just jump from category to category or asset to asset. It's always how to make 6-figure income from your podcast, how to make 6-figure income from your marketing agency, how to make 6-figure income from crypto. But it's the same people selling all the courses. They're not making money from any of those things they're teaching you. They're making their money from actually teaching you those things. So
so it's like you say when they run to the back of the the room.
So you can have a look. There's property trainers, let's just say, that they're telling you how to do rent to rents. They're telling you how to buy property with no money down, and they're laser targeting people with no money, telling you can buy the property, you can have a property portfolio, it can be earning 5, 6, 7 figures a year for you, but you don't need any money to do it. Oh, by the way, to find out, you need to put £2,000 on a credit card. So you're targeting people that probably aren't in a position to make a real good go and be successful at the thing that you're selling. And I just felt it was kind of ethically wrong. So
how much does they charge?
Usually it's like 1997. But that's only the first sale that they get you. Yeah, it's always price into 7, but that's the first thing that they do. They build you up, they keep you in there. Basically, it's a long pitch that you've attended under the guise of you're going to learn how to do this, which is bullshit. They don't actually teach you anything. It's always about them, bit of a bullshit backstory. I was just like you. I was sat there.
The sub-story.
Your family won't understand you. It's the same formula every single time. So all I did was I just made content about my experiences going through that process. And that's when I made the video called The Entrepreneur Formula. Yeah. And that video kind of blew up. And that eventually has made it onto Netflix and all sorts of stuff.
Has it made it onto Netflix?
Yeah, long story short, Netflix was going to do create this episode with me, sign the paperwork, give them permission to use my IP, which is intellectual property, use some of my words, use my content, and then 2 days before filming they pulled out, and then 6 months later they just released an episode of it. You can find it on Netflix now called Money Explained, and if you wait to the very end and pause it, you'll see special thanks Mike Winnet. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So even on the content where I talk about being scammed and ripped off, I ended up getting scammed and ripped off by Netflix.
What?
There's a sweet irony about it. But yeah, so I did that. But I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I only put my videos on YouTube because when I posted my content on LinkedIn, people would complain about it. When I was like taking the piss out of, scarcity tactics or price reductions or fake testimonials, some people felt it targeted them. They reported my content. So I just started putting videos on YouTube. What I didn't realize is that, I'd grown my YouTube channel to sort of top 3% in the world.
Yeah, I love the YouTube channel's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, Joe was mad though, by the way. So 90% of YouTube channels don't break 10,000 subscribers. Did you know that?
No.
But no one talks about that. So people think if you've got like 10,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers, your channel's not that big, but you're in the top 10% in the world at those numbers.
You've got a lot of, so you've got like 87,000.
Yeah.
87 point something.
Yes, that's like top 4% in the world, which is mad, isn't it? Because it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like an achievement. But you compare yourself to Mr. Beast and stuff like that, don't you? The
channel though is so good. You've had loads of different guests on, and you do actual content that's real and authentic, I think, and I think that's why you get it.
Yeah, I look back now and I think I've made lots of mistakes with it. Like, stupidly, why invest 500 grand into this shit when I probably could have told you it a lot cheaper that it was bullshit. But I wanted to be proved wrong. Like, I genuinely hoped that one of the things would pop and give me a 6-figure income or make me £1 million. Because if it did, I've made good content anyway, and I've actually made £1 million. What happened was I made good content and made fuck all money. So I've made more money from AdSense on my YouTube channel talking about the stuff I invested in than I actually made from the things invested in.
Right, so you've made more on your ads, if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. I was wondering how that worked. Obviously, I've got bombarded with ads since, like, forever. And especially, like, lately, I've been looking at I've been recapping and stuff, and every time there's a break, someone comes in and basically entrepreneurs me.
Yeah, this is the annoying thing about YouTube. So YouTube picks what ads you have. You've got no right in what adverts that they pick for you. And the algorithm, obviously, because I'm talking about passive income, crypto, NFTs, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, whatever it might be, property investing, they put adverts for the very gurus that I'm taking the piss out of. So I'll be like, you never want to do affiliate marketing, it's bullshit. And then it'll cut to an ad and it'll be, hey, sign up to my affiliate marketing course.
No.
So it's
like, honestly, it's like, I've just been watching you, say, with
I feel like Robin Hood though, so I'm actually getting money from them. And I know that none of my audience, if they watch my stuff and like my stuff, would actually be dumb enough to actually click through and buy.
Of course. So. Like, honestly, come on in, it was like, have you an affiliate marketing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, eh.
But even those adverts got the same script for a lot of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to quit the 9 to 5?
Yeah.
You see like a Chinese woman doing it. You see like an Indian guy doing it. You see like a guy in Nigeria doing it. It's like they've learnt the script from somewhere. And that's why I made the Entrepreneur Formula, to break down that exact script that they use. It
sounds like you've really helped people, because all in your comments, there's a lot of people that are saying like, oh yeah, I wish I had known this, or like, you're doing God's work. I saw a lot.
Yeah, something like that. I just wish they'd fucking pay me. It's a lot of stress.
Tell me for doing God's work.
But it's like, I didn't do it to monetize it. And that's probably one thing I would say for most people on YouTube is, do it because you just like making the content, or do it because you want to grow an audience and it's for your business or it helps your actual business. Doing YouTube for YouTube's sake, which is what I was kind of doing, I was just making content and putting it out there. You'll be surprised how many people that when you're putting out content to help them for free, still fucking whinge.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on, mate. Like, I've put 30 grand into this crypto mining experiment for you to find out for free. Yet you're giving me shit because I've not mentioned something about the electric costs or whatever. So I kind of built an audience that I had no intention of selling something to. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of an odd thing, which is very different to what I do in my real life business. Like in my real life business and my clients, because I've got a content creation business, we look very specifically at, so what problems do you solve? What's your ideal client? How can we make content that helps them overcome the problems that you solve, etc. So that makes sense to me because, like I said, I'm a businessman first. But yeah, my channel is kind of like a weird kind of group of people that think people making money is a bit of a scam. People selling online stuff's a scam. But it's like, oh no, I used to and do all those things.
Yeah.
If a price ends in a 7, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a scam. It was just a funny observation about pricing.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'm changing all my pricing to 7s, by the way.
Yeah, but it's a mad thing where people like sometimes take what you say literally rather than having the brain capacity to work out, I'm supposed to use this and think for myself or have critical thinking or apply it to certain scenarios. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd group, is YouTube.
How did you, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to know how you grew it from the beginning. How did you grow your channel? Like, what made you grow? How often did you post? You know, that type of thing.
Again, like, it sounds really wanky in terms of a strategy. I wouldn't upload religiously at a certain time, which a lot of people would say you need to do. I wasn't consistent with it. I literally just would make content and put it on. It could have been 1 week, it could have been 2 weeks, it could have been 3 weeks. I've gone months without posting. I've done nearly a year without posting now. I would just post whenever I wanted. I just make content that you would enjoy yourself. So I would always, it sounds mad because when you're doing it for a business, you think, what titles are people searching for? And you use a search first strategy. So you might sell, I don't know, can't think of an example, but I might sell double glazing, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be like, is double glazing more economical than triple glazing? Like, so that might be a question that someone might search into Google. So for a client, I would go, that is the kind of video that we would want to make. That's the title of the video. And then you'd explain the differences between the two things. So I would just make content that I would enjoy because my channel originally was me just making the content I wish I could have found. I was making content for myself, if that makes sense. So I would think, what would I want this video to look like? What would I want to see if I was unsure about investing in crypto, or if I wanted to buy a crypto mining rig, or I wanted to try affiliate marketing? So that was my strategy. I literally thought there wasn't really much content to copy. Now there's loads of content to copy. You can just go, what do you like? And what do you like? Who's in your niche? What elements of theirs do I like? What elements of theirs do I like? How can I like put my own spin on it? But I was kind of like at the leading edge of that sort of type of content, which was exposing scammers. Is it a scam type content? So I would just go, what questions would I ask myself, or what would I want to know? So I made my content for myself. It just happened to resonate with an audience. I didn't deliberately go, there's a group that I want to make content for, which is what I actually do as a sort of day job for other businesses.
Yeah.
So yeah, so very different. So that was all it was. I just did that, and then I had one video that did really well. And then once I realized that it was that kind of content that seemed to do quite well, that's when I sort of like really focused on it. And that's where I come up with the entrepreneur bingo type content.
Yeah, I love the entrepreneur.
Yeah, and that's what most of my audience wanted to see. It's almost like, we get it's a scam. You don't have to invest money in it to prove it now. Just take the piss out of these people and make us laugh. And that's all it was. It was like 6 to 8 minute videos. Yeah.
So the entrepreneur bingo, for everyone who doesn't know, is basically, you basically tick off what a entrepreneur is, and it's like you watch people's videos that they're sending.
Yeah, because lockdown happened, everyone was sat at home, right? Yeah. So all these guys that used to sell from the stage, make you rush to the back of the room, put your hand up if you want to make more money, all those types of people, they couldn't do that anymore. Yeah. So they went into their mum's spare bedroom and started filming themselves and doing webinars. So every week I would do a webinar with my entrepreneur bingo card, which would have price ends in a 7, fake scarcity, wishful identification, Lamborghini, sub story. Yeah, they'd all have these things on there. And I would genuinely watch them live. That was the thing. I hadn't watched it and gone,
oh, right, so you hadn't watched it before? Yeah,
so my reactions were, I'd never seen these things before. So literally what would happen is, Dan would go, Ty Lopez has got a webinar coming up. And we go, right, fine. He goes, I'll record it. So Dan would record it, and then I would come in here without watching it at all. So I never knew at the beginning whether it was going to be a pass or a fail.
Oh, right. So I didn't know that because, I mean, especially I watched one...
Because some of them I actually thought were scammers, but actually failed on the bingo card.
Yeah, they did. The one where you were like, motivation, dedication, with your American accent.
Yeah, Wesley Virgin, motivated, dedicated.
Yeah, and you're like, motivation.
Yeah, so I 100% thought he was definitely going to like be a entrepreneur. I
still think he is.
No, he 100% is, but he didn't end his price in 7.
Yeah.
So like on the bingo card, I didn't get a full house, but anybody that's in that series is probably a entrepreneur, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've had loads of them removed. I've had to remove like 4 of them videos.
Really? Why? Does people complain?
It's not complain. People send me legal letters and that. So I had to pay $4,500 out in legal fees in December.
Really? Yeah. I was going to ask about that.
So this was the thing. So not only do I make this content for free and people still fucking whinge about it, I'm actually being hit with legal fees for doing this content.
No way.
And imagine this, bearing in mind the group that I've built there. Imagine if I went and said, listen, guys, no more entrepreneur bingo. I've just had to pay $4,500 out. If we can start a GoFundMe and you can help me with the legal fees, just pay £1 each. There's 87,000 of you. Pay £1 a month each and we can carry on doing this. How many of them people do you think would actually pay £1 a month to watch it? Probably none.
Yeah.
100%. Maybe 500 out, absolute push. Probably less than that. And that's what happened. It's like, some of these people were whinging about the content not being uploaded as quick as they wanted. Or why didn't you do this, guy? Why didn't you do that? Well, I can only do 1 video a week. You know what I mean?
And then you're getting hit with legal fees.
Yeah, as well. So it's just hassle to me.
So,
and also, I can take or leave YouTube. The biggest thing, there's people now that started sort of after me or have changed their content to be similar types of topics that have grown their audience to huge numbers, like millions of subscribers. But they are YouTubers.
Yeah.
They do YouTube and have tried to make it into a business. I'm a businessman that just fucks about on YouTube for a few minutes a week. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference there. Like I've got legit business credentials and run real businesses. So when the global pandemic hit, that was my priority because I had a business with staff and I didn't want to furlough any staff and I didn't want to lose clients and I wanted to carry on operating as a business. So during lockdown, I just kind of lost all sort of interest in YouTube.
Did you? Mm-hmm. What did you do instead?
Just worked. It worked normal. So I was making content for other clients because my clients have got businesses.
Yeah.
My content attracts customers for them. So I was just doubling down on what content can I make sure that all of my clients don't lose their business. And I didn't have to lose any staff or anything like that. So that was my first priority.
So you've just made a newsletter as well, Views on My Own, which I love, and you know that.
Yeah.
So it really helped my salesperson, and we obviously I told her to watch your stuff anyway. But Views of Your Own came out and she watched something of yours. It was a YouTube video that you did.
Yeah, the podcast with Dan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then we found Views of Your Own newsletter.
Yeah.
And that really helps, doesn't it, with sales? I would say.
Yeah. So the reason why I did that, and it was because. Like I would, off the back of my content, and because people knew that I'd grown a big audience on LinkedIn and they'd seen me talk about how I scaled my old business and how did I sell that business and how I backwards planned that business and what did you do to make sure you got the best price and, you know, how did you market your business and all that kind of stuff. I would literally, and this is no exaggeration, I've had a bit of a shit time on social media because I lost a LinkedIn account at 86,000 when I lost it and I got it back at 76. But I lost an 86,000 LinkedIn account and I lost a 10,000 Instagram account hacked and deleted all in the space of a week, which is huge for a business that relies on social media for leads. Yeah. But I would probably get between 100 and 200 messages on either Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn saying, Can you just explain to me how you grew your audience and how did you know who would buy your business and how did you ensure you got a better multiple and, you know, what strategy did you do to grow and all this types of shit. And I'd be asked essentially the same questions, but by hundreds of people every month to the point where, or can you mentor me? Can you be my like business consultant? Can you do, how much is it for a session? That was one end. And then the other end, you had cheeky bastards that said, how do you sell your business for 8 million? I'd pay for a coffee. Why don't you tell me over a coffee? It's like, well, number one, my big tip is don't expect people that have achieved the thing that you've done to give you like 8 million quid's worth of advice for £2.50 coffee.
So do you want me to give you this wine?
No.
You can give me.
But,
I'm joking.
No, because this is like a value trade, right?
Yeah.
And this is what people don't get, because essentially we're both gaining something from this. Like, you can ask me questions that I wouldn't spend 2 hours just talking to you about this and stuff normally, but because as soon as you put cameras on and make it a podcast format, it's almost like you're getting the answers to the stuff that you want to help you grow your business, right? Like, everyone should understand that. But equally, why am I doing it? Well, your audience might see it and they might go, oh, do you know what? I like what Mike said. It kind of made sense. I want to grow my marketing sales, so I might sign up to use my own, whatever it might be. So there's a value exchange there, right? Most people weirdly don't seem to get that concept when it comes to asking for stuff. Right. So most people would want me to either tell them for free or the price of a coffee on how to grow and scale their business to millions of pounds, or would genuinely want to pay me for my time, where I used to say, but I run a real business. So for me to stop working in my business and help you with your business, I would probably ask for a lot of money, because if I spent a day, I might get 4, 5, 6 new clients. You're going to have to pay the equivalent of those 4, 5, 6 new clients. And so it was too expensive and too time consuming to actually do any help with people one-to-one. And essentially, because everyone asks the same types of questions, I just said, look, I can do a group and I will pretty much answer your questions and work through them week by week. And that's what I do now. So
that's what it is.
So I just go, I get asked a question on marketing, I get asked a question on sales or selling my business or whatever it might be. And I actually show people what I did in my real business or what I'm currently doing now. Mm-hmm. So that's all it is. So it's like a low cost kind of like business community. Very low cost.
I've got like so many questions from that that I want to say. One.
What from what I've just said?
What you've just said, yeah. That's like so you were about mentoring basically, and you've talked about mentoring before, that you get best advice for people who you don't pay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I think.
I agree. My best advice I don't pay for mentor, and the people who give me the advice are the ones who I don't pay for. Yeah. All very big in the industry, if you like, in business and things. So what do you do about mentoring for your business? Like, do you mentor people? I know you've just said about it.
No. Like, literally, in a weird way, on the mentoring thing, so I've had 2 mentors that I would say in my business life, but neither of them would know that they were my mentor. None of them call themselves a mentor. None of them actively target people on Facebook with adverts, position themselves as a mentor. They don't put me in a Facebook group or anything like that. They were just 2 blokes that worked in business that were a lot older than me, that were nice guys, and they kind of had the life that I would want. So I would look at them and think, God, I wouldn't mind a life like that when I'm their age. And that was it. Because then all I would do is I would ask them questions. I wouldn't bother them or hassle them. I'd just ask them questions occasionally. And if I wanted to know a bit more about them, I'd say, do you want to go out for a meal? Do you want to catch up? And we'd go out. I'd have a meal with them. I'd ask them a few questions that bother me. And they give me so much time and effort because they must have seen something in me that either reminded them of themselves or they thought I had a little bit about me or a bit of potential. Fuck knows. But one of them, he paid for me to do personal development when I was like 24.
Right.
And he said to me back then, it's weird actually, it was his funeral on Saturday. He said to me when I was 24, I think you've got more about you than working for me. I used to work for him. I've paid for this personal development for you. You go to it, and I think you can go on and do big things. And then when an opportunity came to work for somebody else, he said I should go and do it because he thought it would benefit me. But he would leave a job open available with him in case it didn't work out. So he was the first one. Martin, his name was. And but yeah, he ran a real business. He wasn't a mentor. He wasn't flashy or anything. He was just like a quiet guy, good guy. Everyone that worked with him liked him, but he was a really switched on business guy. And same as another guy called Steve that was similar kind of thing. Had a business 30 years. Had been through, it was in air freight aviation. Been through 9/11, been through the global pandemic and all these types of things. So he'd been through like the shit end of business as well. And I learnt loads from him as well. So I would ask him questions whenever I was thinking about things in business. What do you think about this? And da-da-da-da. But yeah, so in terms of mentors, I think your best teachers or best mentors probably are out there in the industry or niche that you want to work in, but don't even realize that they are a mentor, number one. Number two, people go, well, how do you approach them? How do you ask them? They probably don't want to stop doing what they're doing to help you. So you've got to almost like fit yourself into their life somehow so you can learn from them. So go and work with them for a year or 2 years. Go and apply for a job with them. Go and work in a startup in your niche in that industry, because you will learn so much more being around that environment if you want to run your own business than you'll ever learn from a course or a mentor that's never actually worked in your industry or sector or achieved the things that you want to achieve. So that's my thoughts on mentors, really. But yeah, Views of My Own was essentially me just saying, look, this is everything I've done and this is everything I am currently doing. I'm not saying that it will work for you. I'm learning as I go. So at the moment, I'm trying like a certain growth strategy. Will it work? I don't know. But the Views of My Own community will say, actually, that worked really well. Or I've tried it myself and it's worked really well, or whatever.
So we tried a couple of things, and we also tried. You had Callum
Beecroft.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I messaged him after.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want you to do some calls for me, but his client list was full. But his way, and it's like what you guys were saying, when you're more real, if you like, and it's a sales call. So you were saying like it's a sales call, so like that's how it is. And hey, like I love that, and that's worked.
Yeah, I used to use that when I was in sales. That's why in that Views of My Own community, I get people that I actually believe and have used their stuff or tried that stuff or something similar. But yeah, the sales one's interesting. I think a lot of people, when they're not confident in sales, they try and hide the fact that it's a sales call and try and say it's not a sales call. But it's like, we're all grown-ups now. We've all been in this world for how long? We know when it's a sales call. And I just think quite a lot of shit salespeople are scared to get on the phone, when the reality is, if you get on the phone and say, you're going to hate me, this is a sales call, you'll be surprised at how much more effective that is than saying, oh, it's Mike, I'm calling from My Own Productions. Can I speak to the person that deals with your content creation, please? Like, what do you think that person on the other end of the phone is going to say?
I agree with you, yeah.
We do it in-house.
Yeah.
That's before you even spoke to the decision maker. But if you go like, can I speak to John, please? Can I say who's calling? It's Mike. Right, okay, you've not lied. You've not... All you've done is you've gone, oh, he sounds like he knows the person, so I'm going to put them through. And then when you speak to him, you're going to hate me, this is a sales call. I imagine you've got one of these three problems. I imagine you're going to tell me you've not got one of these three problems, and you can tell him 9 times out of 10. If they say yes to one of them, then you know you can sell to them. If they say no to all of them, then you go, so I don't want to waste your time then, mate. I'll see you later. And it's so much easier just being upfront and honest about things that, it's a good way of selling. Do
you know what it is for me? It's the banter. So if you can have banter with people on the phone and just be real with them, and when you ring them and you say, oh, like, I'm really sorry, but this is going to be a sales call, and then they laugh, and when you get the laugh.
But it's not just that as well. Like 9 times out of 10, the people that you're phoning have probably got a sales team themselves.
Yeah.
So they're not against sales call. They fucking do it anyway themselves. So you're just a bit of an idiot if you go in subservient and passive into that exchange, then you're probably going to lose more than you win, I think. But yeah, so every week my idea for Views of My Own was, I've got a list of questions that I've been asked, and this is how I make my video content, by the way. I just make video content that answers questions I know people ask. And I'm just basically working my way through them to answer every single question I've been asked about. How did I grow an audience? Because I've got over 200k followers now. How did I scale my business? How did I sell my business? How did I run my business? And all those types of things. So I've got content for about 4 years to come out.
It's amazing. I love the YouTube channel especially.
Yeah. I think I'm lucky in the sense that I'm decent at whatever I put my mind to. I think too many people try and jump from thing to thing, and they're not very good at it, and they don't do anything really well. Like, take, for example, I've never been on TikTok until like 2 weeks ago. And that is solely because I'm trying a strategy for TikTok just to see, can it be used for business lead generation, right? But 2 years ago, I could have been on TikTok and half-arsing it. I could have been half-arsing LinkedIn. I could have been half-arsing YouTube. I think too many businesses now think, well, we need an Instagram. We need a TikTok. Are all the social handles available on every single social platform? It's like, no, just get good at 1 or 2, master them, and then just build from there. And I think too many people don't do that part.
I think that's really important. Every channel's different as well, and people don't realise that, do they?
No.
And also, like you said about TikTok, if you're going to go on it, do it right.
Yeah, I think so.
So what strategy have you got going on at the minute?
So with TikTok, well, I'm trying 2 different types of content just to see which one lands better, and I'm trying to post at different times of the day. I'm just working out which strategy worked the best, what type of content worked the best. So, and we're also doing the same with some of our clients. Weirdly, one of our clients' videos has done so much better than any of the content that we've put out so far. And he's gained like 3,000 followers on TikTok, and he's only like day 4.
Really?
Yeah.
What for doing?
So I think it was the thumbnail. The thumbnail we used, it looks familiar. So I think people clicking on it, but then the actual content is good. So they've been hooked in, but the content's good. Now that video is like 4 minutes long, where most people would say as a TikTok strategy, it needs to be less than sort of 30 seconds, right?
Well, it changed. TikTok changed, didn't it? So like anything up to 10 minutes is favourable now.
Oh, I don't know. But that platform, all the gurus would tell you want short content, hook them in, it's got to be really engaging from the off, but it wasn't like his best performing video was a video that's nearly 4 minutes long. But it's a good video.
Is it?
So I think good content trumps any strategy.
I agree.
I think that. And I think as well, so that's my key to anything is just make good content. If you do that, you will get your rewards. Stop looking for shortcuts and hacks. If you're looking for little hacks and ways to game the algorithm and do all these things, it probably means that your content's shit.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like good content should always come first. And that's with anything. That's with your written posts.
Mm-hmm.
That's with any TikTok content you do, any YouTube videos you do, any videos you put on LinkedIn. That's what I would say. And that's why I now do that for other people as well.
Can you say any of your clients or not?
I mean, I can do.
All right, go on. Tell us a client.
Oh, there's like, this is the mad thing. They aren't huge. It's not like, oh, we work with Ladbrokes or we work with whoever, the Football Association.
Yeah.
Who were clients that I used to work in my old business with.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just, because I got all my clients in lockdown all through the pandemic. So they're like, he's a boiler installation guy. He does boiler installations.
Yeah.
So we've got a video for them. Do you know Score app?
No.
So it's like an app where you can ask your customers to do a quiz and then it pulls out loads of insights and then you can give them like a personalized sales message. So we've got Score app. We've got Aptura. So loads and loads of like SaaS and tech type companies come to us and they say like, we want an animated explainer video to explain what we do, or we want a video series to help drive engagement. And then all I go is like, what are your frequently asked questions? Let's make videos around them. What are the most searched terms? Right. So we now want to try and make a video that's engaging, entertaining, got a good hook, uses engagement triggers so people don't click off, has a good call to action. That also ticks the box in terms of what title would somebody search to find this content, and does it actually solve a problem for your client and make them closer to spending money with you. So I do that strategy for lots of people.
We were talking about,
but that's an accidental business, by the way. I didn't want to do that.
That was just
it was in lockdown because I couldn't go to any more events by anybody.
Yeah.
I just put a post on LinkedIn saying, look, if you like my videos and you want me to make them for you, just give me a shout, because my team's available because we can't do any of my own content. And 34 people asked if they could be clients. So then I thought, shit, I'm going to have to set up a content marketing business here. And we're sat in a studio that
gorgeous.
I only got built. So this podcast studio, so I do podcast production now for people. I didn't produce this, by the way. I don't know what this is going to look like when it comes out. This is
if it's shit, it's not you.
This isn't me. But I only did podcast production because I used to have my own podcast that I used to do animations on. It was called the Not Another Dickhead with a podcast. And lockdown happened, so I couldn't go and use the studio that I usually use. So I just built this. And then obviously when people were allowed to go back into offices again, I just said, look, does anybody want me to produce their podcast? So I've got clients that come in here and we'll record like a year's worth of podcasts over 3 days, 4 days.
That's wicked, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got real businesses now that are accidental businesses, but I'll go back to this point. They've all come off the back of building an audience online and having that reach and people interested in the story that I've created over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So the backstory is...
Yeah, so if I was nobody, if I was just like Mike Jones from Warrington that no one ever heard of, and then I put that post on LinkedIn that said, hey guys, I can't make any videos for myself. Do you want me to make videos for you? I absolutely guarantee you wouldn't have got 34 customers because he's not done the hard graft to get into that lucky position.
Yeah.
And that's where, to bring it all back, where the entrepreneurs succeed is because 99.9% of people don't want to do that bit. Mm-hmm. So in a strange way, it's quite easy to become the best in your field at something or become well known for something because most people are doing anything they can to avoid the hard work and the steps that they need to take to get there. Mm-hmm. So if you just outwork them and be a tiny bit better than them, you'll always become number one at what you do pretty much.
So you have to be like confident, obviously we were talking about this before, confident on making content. Obviously you make a lot, and I have a lot of clients who aren't aren't confident at being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And
but nobody else knows that apart from them.
Yeah. And I worked for someone who said they didn't want to be online and they didn't want to do anything online and put content out there because they're scared of the backlash.
Yeah.
And they're scared of the
content
comments.
Were they making?
Like they just didn't they literally
babies or something.
they literally didn't want to post anything, and I was like, right, so because I was a market manager at the time, you need to put content out there for the brand to have awareness, and they just didn't want to do anything because they'd received some bad comments before, so they were scared of the comments. But I was saying to you earlier,
but who'd you get bad comments off?
Well,
people aren't going to buy from you.
Yeah.
So what fucking difference does it make?
Exactly, I agree. So, like, for you, I was saying, like, obviously you have to be confident, but people obviously put bad things in the comments. How do you get over that?
Listen, you could put a video out there saying, great news, I've donated £1 million to charity. And there's someone saying, but why didn't you donate £1.5 million?
Yeah.
So what are those? Like, it's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
And also, your brain's hardwired to find the negative stuff. Like, I might get a video out there and there might be 100 comments saying, I love this video, it's really helped me, blah, blah, blah. There'll be one comment that says something that's like, what a load of shit, I can't stand this fucking guy. And like, you start noticing them more than the other 99 people that like what you do. So like you've got to put out content. Because I go back to this one thing. If you've got a problem in real life, right? And most businesses are built on they solve a problem or fix a problem for someone, that's how it works, pretty much. If I said to you now, you need to, I don't know, how to cook the perfect roast turkey or how to set your Sky Digital box, whatever the fuck it is, right? You will go one of two places to find the answer out if you don't know where the answer is. Number one will be Google. Number two will be YouTube. They are the only two places that people really go in everyday life. So why, and it blows my mind when I speak to hundreds of business people about this, why, if you behave in a certain way every single day, and you know all your friends behave in a certain way every single day, when it comes to marketing your business, which fixes and solves a problem, would you try and avoid doing the things that you know is where everybody is used to looking? So you need your content on YouTube as a business. You need your content on Google as a business. Now, Google owns YouTube. So if the world's first biggest search engine owns the world's second biggest search engine, and it's now pulling that data through, like, you've got to be on there. You're not on there going like, hey guys, smash that subscribe button. You're not there trying to get 1 million subscribers. You're there, how do I make a video that answers a very, very niche specific question that my ideal client would ask? So for me, it could be how to become confident on camera. So I would, as my content creation business, create a video called three ways to become instantly more confident on camera. Now, in theory, that video could potentially stop a customer using me, because if they get confident on camera, they might not use me. So you need to look at it in two ways. Number one, you watch that video, the tips help you. You try it yourself, but you're still not thinking you're nailing it. You're then going to probably call me, because you know I do that as a business, and go, oh, I've seen your video, Mike, it really helped, but you know, I can't quite nail it. Can you help me with? Come in, we'll speak to you. We'll probably sell to you, right? So you come to me, you become a client, and the law of reciprocity?
Yeah, no,
right?
Yeah.
I've done something for you, even though I don't know you exist, but you know how I sound, you know how I look, I've helped you, you've kind of bought into me, you like what we're about and whatever. So you kind of feel like you owe me something now. I don't know this. So you spend your money with me, we solve your problem. Or you do it, the tips are really fucking good, you go and smash your own videos, but if you're good at all your other videos and you've got ads turned on, I'm making money from the people that don't come and use my business anyway. So like you kind of win twofold. You're getting paid from customers that weren't going to use you, or you're also getting loads of lead gen that way. Now, if you think about this, right, in most businesses, startup businesses especially, who's the best salesperson? It's the person whose business it is, because they know it inside out, right? Yeah. You can only be in one place at one time, and 9 times out of 10, you're not going to want to be on the phone to sell, right? So if I could tell you, as a business owner, you could clone yourself 20 times and only be in the places where your ideal client is asking for help, and you could give them a pitch perfect answer to solve their problem, and you could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you didn't have to pay these 20 people any wages or salary or commission whatsoever, you would snap my hand off.
Yeah.
That is all video is.
Yeah.
If you answer the top 20 questions that your ideal client asks, or your top 20 frequently asked questions, and put those videos on YouTube, put them on your socials, put them on your company pages on LinkedIn, put them on your website, put them in blogs, put them in landing pages, put them in your defrost campaign. Like, you can put these videos in 14, 15 different places. There's now, if you take it for my business, there's 80 Mike McGanns out there or Mike Winnets out there that are telling my ideal client how to solve their problem 24 hours a day, and I don't even know about it. All I get is when they phone me up and want to use me as a business. It's the best way to scale your sales team for free that you'll ever get. And they are only speaking to, because you're not trying to go viral, you're just trying to talk to the very few people that want help with that one problem. They're speaking to self-qualified people. If you're not doing content, you are literally shooting yourself in the foot. Like, it does not make sense.
I was just about to say this. So, like, sometimes we speak to people and people will come through to us like, could you help us with this? And then
I want to be known, but I don't want anyone to know who I am.
But then they're like, oh, we don't need social media. We don't think we need that. Or, you know, like, and it's so hard to get over that and explain.
That business that says that might actually be able to do 3 times as much money as it makes now.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
You don't know. You're only comparing it to what? Like, social media, it's not doing TikTok dances. For business, I'm talking about. It's not doing TikTok dances. It's not trying to jump on the craze. It's not making content all the time. It's making well thought out, clever, evergreen, lead generating content. Like, if you're going to do a video of yourself doing the fucking Harlem Shake or the mannequin challenge, like, that's dead in a week.
Yeah.
No one's searching for that. But if you went and gone, what do we fix here that solves a problem that we know how we can look on a website called Ask the People. Oh, look, that question gets asked 26,000 times a year. You can ask a video, if you can create a video that answers that question, that question's going to be asked next year and the year after and year after. So I've got videos now from 2017, 18 that still generate maybe 7,000 views a week. Mm-hmm. I still get leads from stuff that I did in 2017. Mm-hmm. You don't get that from Crazy Carol in a Christmas jumper. But that's some businesses' idea of social media content. Like, that's bullshit. That's disposable content. You don't want to waste your time. Given the choice, if I can only make 1 or 2 types of content, I would go with lead generating evergreen content every time. Mm-hmm. Doing the occasional smart ass comment and like, oh, look at, oh, like Jack's got a shit haircut, and you might post that on social media for a bit of laughs and a bit of engagement. That's cool for just getting a bit of a dopamine hit, but that doesn't win business. Essentially, what wins business is the stuff that actually helps people overcome the problem that you fix, which might sound counterintuitive to a lot of people.
But a lot of what you do helps, though. So, like, I can understand why you get leads of a lot of videos that you do, because you're explaining a solution to the problem.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
It's not hard. But, by the way, at no point, I've never done marketing before. No, I've never did it at college. Like, everything I do is because I've actually tried it and tested it and found out myself the hard way. Mm-hmm. So that's how come I feel like if I was a business owner thinking, like, who should I listen to? Are you going to listen to somebody that's actually done this in a real business that actually sells products? Because even when it comes to marketing, I don't look at myself as a marketer. I say to my clients, I'm a business person that knows how to market a business. Yeah. I'm not a marketing person. The only other business I ran is a marketing agency. Because there's a big difference between marketing in my own business to generate leads for an actual product that isn't marketing, by the way. So, than just being hey, I'm a social media marketer. Why are you a social media marketer? Because you went viral on one video once. Mm. You've got 100,000 audience, but 90,000 of that audience came from just that one post that you did where you were crying about whatever. Like, there's a difference between marketing that way and marketing for an app, like a global business that wants to generate, pre-qualified leads for their sales team to call and close. So,
while we're on it, what do you think about personal branding?
Yeah, no, I think it's important.
Especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so I think personal branding is really important. Number one, if you own the business, probably should be you. Look at all the biggest brands at the moment now. If I said Gymshark to you, straight away you think of Ben Francis, right? Yeah. You might even think Noel Mack as well, who's his right-hand man, right?
And the social media guru, Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred. Yeah. So there's a few of them, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been smart. They've realised that Gymshark's its brand, but also people like to follow the individuals. How many followers have Virgin got online compared to how many followers have Richard Branson online? Richard Branson's got like 4 times as many followers than Virgin's got. Yet Virgin's got the trains, it had the Coke, it had the music, it had all these different things, the bank, Virgin Money, whatever it might be. But Richard Branson just eclipses all them. You know, there's lots of people like that. So personal brand is important. Even if you're an established business, you still want 3 or 4 well-known figures within your business to build their personal brand. Now, I get why businesses don't do it, because they're worried, well, we could build you up and you could move on to something else. But so what? Mm-hmm. That isn't a reason not to do it. Because if you're good and you've got 3 or 4 people that are doing it and you treat people right and you're a good business and you do the things that you say, they're going to want to grow with you. Or when they do leave, you just move somebody else into that position in your own business. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I think it's really important that people in the business shout, like our brand ambassadors, if you like.
Yeah.
And we've got.
But it helps in so many aspects as well. But sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's all right.
So like now, if I know somebody in Virgin talks really well about the onboarding process and hiring people and things that they do and new starters, and they've got this, and I'm following them on LinkedIn or social media, I want to work for that company because I know the culture as well. So it means that you actually will probably attract a better fit for your business when people do apply for your business as well. So not only does that help you in lead generation, being seen, bit of personality, giving your brand that the human element, it helps with your recruitment, staff retention, the types of people that you attract. So there's every business needs recognizable faces within that business.
I'm glad you said this, because I preach this and some businesses like, oh, we don't need it, we don't do it. But
who says that? Like, who says that?
Some people who come to us and ask for social media branding, and I'm like, I think you should do this. Like,
because branding to them probably means Canva with their colours and a certain typography, and that's what they think is their brand. You've not got a brand. No one gives a fuck about it.
Yeah, it's the people behind it.
Yeah.
We have a really good guy working for us called James, and he does personal branding, and he has a following, like we were talking about earlier. We won't put that on. And he has like his own following, but I get leads through him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they like what he's saying.
Yeah, it works so well. Like if you look at Offended, they've got Dan Kelsall. Like Offended, in theory, is you think Dan Kelsall, but the reality is Dan's not doing the work, but you've bought into that organisation because you like the sound, look, feel, the way Dan makes you feel when he posts and stuff like that. So it works for them.
It's the human element, isn't it?
You could argue the same was with our business, with myself. Like, I want Mike Winnet to do my content. I'm not actually making the content. I don't film it. I don't edit it. You know, I help sometimes with the ideas. It's my team. But people would think, well, Mike Winnet does this. It was the same when I did my old business when I was Mike McGann. Long story on the name change, but like, I was the draw. It was my voice on social media. I was well known. So if anyone said, "Can anybody help me with some online learning?" or "I need to know about e-learning," people would go, "Oh, Mike McGann." People that didn't even know what my actual training was like or what my actual content was like or what we did as a business, because they'd seen, heard, and kind of liked how I post, we would win business off the strength of, so-and-so that's never used you has recommended you. So yeah, it's so important.
Mike McGann, tell me about
that. It's like, long story short, so when I sold my business, they hold back a little bit of money. So they held back like 1.2 million for 12 months. You've got like a list of like warranty and guarantees. So it's almost like, if you do X, then you can be fined 30 grand. If you do Y, you can be fined 50 grand. And essentially an American company bought our business and they're dead risk averse. They don't get comedy, humour, sarcasm, because Americans, right? 2 things, thick and fat. Right, so they didn't really get it. So when I had just sold the business but would post like some like sarcastic content, they felt it could have damaged their brand. So because I didn't want to lose 1.2 million, as a joke, I changed my surname to Winnet, which, do you know what Winnet is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Winnet.
A Winnet, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did it, and the joke was that I'm a really bad boss, and I asked my PA to fill in the paperwork for me, and she wrote Winnet instead of Winner.
Right.
It's a shit joke, right?
Yeah.
But really, the real world reason was I just didn't want a link to my old business for that 12 months. So I actually removed them from my LinkedIn account, so you couldn't see what business I'd sold, and I did it so I didn't lose like 1.2 million. But what happened was, I started getting asked to do interviews and podcasts and stuff about selling my business or about some of the stuff that I was talking about. I did a couple of posts that ended up on the radio, a bit mad like. And So then people wanted to talk to me because they thought I was basically doing parody business posts as if I was like a really bad boss. I don't know if you've seen any of this stuff.
I haven't seen that stuff.
Yeah, so I used to do like stuff like, because you know on LinkedIn, I call it like Captain Obvious. Like people go like, hey, you should have a diverse workforce because you get diverse ideas, and it gets like 10,000 likes. And people are like, of course. Like, why is anyone celebrating this? It's fucking basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you should have old people are useful in the workplace too because they've got ideas that you might not have even thought of. Well, fucking well done. Like this isn't like groundbreaking business advice. So I started to take the piss out of those people, but I'd give like really shit advice, but as if I wasn't self-aware. Like I thought it was really good advice and didn't realize how bad it was. So I used to post this and they'd get like 1 million views. They were mad. But a couple of them ended up on the radio. Like, is this the UK's worst boss? So this was the post I did that kind of made it big. You should prioritize money over family. That's where it started. And it was, let's be honest, none of your kids will remember what they got for the first 6 birthdays or Christmases. So why would you take time off and potentially lose out on making money in business when
I did see that one.
You can buy their love at a later date?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. They'll remember the house that you bought them, and they'll remember the car deposit you give them. So I did this post about not going to a nativity play, saying like, I've sent my PA Bethlehem to go to my nativity play and she Skyped me from it and blah, blah, blah. And I got loads of shit on it. But then people wanted to really talk to me. I would say like, the best way to increase your profits is to employ women because the gender pay gap is a great way to reduce your wages and blah, blah, blah. So I've replaced all men in my business with women and now I pay them 19% less.
Yeah.
Just shit advice, right?
Yeah,
Taking the piss. But some people thought it was real, would get dead irate. People were in on the joke, they knew who it was. But then weirdly, I'd get some support from like people in business. Yeah, I'm glad you've said it. Someone else like, no, mate, you're the butt of the joke here. And that's the thing with doing like satire. Sometimes the people that you're trying to take the piss out of don't realise that they're the butt of the joke. They think that you're one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I was doing these posts, the American company got a bit nervous, so they didn't want me to. But then I'd get asked to come on and talk about my actual beliefs. So I did my first few podcasts and stuff in character. Like these people didn't even realise it wasn't real. So you
came on acting like
Mike Winnet, bad boss.
Right, okay.
And it was just funny because I was bored. I sold my business. I wasn't allowed to work for 2 years. I got paid not to work for 2 years. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? Be a shit bad boss online as a piss take.
Yeah.
Make a few people laugh while they're at work. And then I started getting interviews for it. And then I thought like, they've called me Mike Winnet. Do they not realise this is an act? And I didn't tell anyone for the first couple of like interviews that I did. And I thought, shit, I'm kind of stuck with this now. And then I got asked to do a speaking gig in Belfast. And same thing, like they introduced, I tried to check into the hotel and they booked me in as Mike Winnet. I was like, you booked my flights. I give you my passport. Like, you know what my real name is. So I've just kept that. But I've slowly tried to move away from it. With the views of my own, my name's back to the old name.
Right, okay. I haven't noticed.
Yeah. No, so on LinkedIn it's the same because that's what everyone knows me as. And I got banned from LinkedIn for like 11 months.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's stupid. But so I got banned from LinkedIn. But the Mike Winnet character is quite damaging sometimes. When I'm talking to high-level people about investing, sometimes it scares them a little bit. Mm-hmm. Whereas that's why I've kind of got the two names. When I'm talking proper business to proper business people, it's Mike McCann, but when I do my YouTube stuff, just taking the piss out of people, it's just Mike Winnet.
All right.
Yeah, so that's it.
I didn't know, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people don't because it's the internet, right? What you see is you take it at face value, so people just think that's my name. But yeah, so Mike Winnet is a shit surname was the kind of joke.
So it's not really your name.
No, Mike McCann. Yeah.
Can I still call you Mike Winnet though? I like
it. Well, yeah. It's funny, isn't it? But yeah, so that was it. That ended up on Radio X, and then done loads of mad shit. I got the blank book to #1 on Amazon and all sorts of stuff.
I need to ask you about that. Right, I love that. So you basically fooled Amazon and you didn't put anything in a book. Yeah,
so it's just the same thing. When I was doing like looking at all these gurus, I thought, why the fuck are they all best-selling authors?
Yeah.
I read their posts and there's nothing of interest there. So how can they write a book that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people buy? There must be some way that they're doing it. I mean, if Samuel Lee's going to be a best-selling author, anyone can, right? So I looked into it and I found a sort of loophole of how you can do it. And then again, like I like to learn by doing and show people an actual real life example of something that I've done rather than just sit in your bedroom and take shots at something but never actually try and do it yourself. I like to try and do things and then give my actual honest opinion. So instead of just saying, by the way, there's a really easy way to get a book to #1 on Amazon, I thought, why don't I just take it to the extreme and take the piss? And I wrote a book called How to Get a #1 bestselling author, How to Become an Amazon bestselling author. And I just wrote blank page on 144 pages.
Yeah, and then you got people to give you good testimonials.
Yeah, and I got it to #1 on Amazon. It took 24 hours. Amazon were using it as the actual icon on their business section.
Page,
it was fucking mad.
Yeah.
It went better than I thought it would go. I thought I'd do it. I didn't expect it to get picked up and be like hot new releases and pushed by Amazon. But yes, I got a #1 on Amazon within 24 hours by selling a blank book.
But didn't they say they need to check it over or something?
Yeah, so they say that they need to, it's manually checked over, which is bullshit. They don't.
Obviously not.
But that made news in America and Australia. That.
Did it? What saying that blank?
I was called UK prankster. Oh, you're a UK
Winnet.
comedian and prankster Mike Winnet. And it was it's weird, like some publicity that some of these gurus actually fake and lie and pay money to do. Like I've been in Time magazine, they did an article on me last month about the entrepreneur stuff that we did. I've been on the news in Australia for being like a UK prankster that tricked Amazon and got a blank book to #1. I've managed to I've got my way into Gary Vee's office. I've met Gary Vee. I've had the Netflix thing. So I've done lots of things, but it's all irrelevant to me. Like I'm not asked about any of that shit.
Oh, I love it.
You
might not like it, but I love it.
No, it's like I just like doing work.
Yeah.
I just like working in a business.
Yeah, but you obviously have a creative mind and that's what everyone likes. So I like watching you because you do it's very real. So like it's not just bullshit and you're not just like, oh, I'm doing like humble bragger. I spoke to a guy yesterday, right? And he come on and he sent me a message. He said like he only lives in Warrington. If he sees this, you'll know I'm on about him as well. But he said, oh, I need to speak to you. He goes, because we're the same. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I've got a top 5% podcast in the world. And stuff like that turns me off. So I was like, right. And he goes, yeah, and I do this and I do that. And I've got this and stuff. So when I looked at his podcast had 20 downloads. It's like, no, you've just looked at ways to game these things. Like you've paid to be in Forbes. You've got a top 5% podcast in Iceland. Like you've gone and found like the niches category. Yeah. And you put it in Iceland. So yeah, only 6 people have listened in Iceland, but in the niche that you're in that Icelandic podcast chart, it's all wank stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's why originally the name Contrepreneur was meant to be people that are fake entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. They do anything to look like they're successful rather than just work hard, do something really well and charge people for solving a problem for them, which I think is the best way to run business. I think all this stuff should be a byproduct of doing something good, but the problem is too many people focus on doing all these things to then do something shit. Mm-hmm. Like they get themselves into this position. So like, how can we monetize this? How can we get the most money from people for the minimum viable product, like the cheapest, shittest, most cost-effective version of what we can do? Yeah. I just think it's a wank way to run a business. And that's why very few of them achieve the things that they say that they can achieve, I think, anyway. I agree. But the reason why people watch you, I think, and you have such a big following is because not many people speak truthfully. Yeah, I talk about luck a lot. That's one thing that I think is the biggest difference. So I think I did all the right things, picked the right niche, come up with the right offering to an audience that wasn't serviced properly, targeted the right people to work with, had an idea how to exit the business and work towards that target. So I wrote 10 million in a day on a piece of paper and I basically backwards planned that business. And that was my plan. I was going to sell my business for 3 years. 3 years later for 10 million, I didn't do it. I failed. But I sold business after 2.5 years. There's an element of luck and you can't replicate that. So I look at myself and I think I could easily be on that stage. I could easily be on that stage now saying, follow my step-by-step guide and my 68-step guide and you can sell your business for 8 million in 2.5 years. Just like I did. The only difference is I actually fucking did it, which a lot of them haven't done. But even though I've actually done it, there's too many variables and things that are outside of your control that don't guarantee the results. So I don't feel confident enough to go on stage and say, if you did exactly what I did, you will get the same results. Because if I did exactly the same thing again from today, I don't think I would get the same result. Mm-hmm. So I acknowledge luck as being a small but very important part to any success story, really. Mm-hmm. The problem is, for whatever reason, a lot of these gurus or successful people don't like to admit that, I don't think, because it takes away from their genius or their brilliance or whatever. Because no one likes to go, yeah, I did this, but I got a little bit lucky.
because then that stops them being so amazing, right? Because they've built this, they've got this image that they want to uphold or keep or whatever. Whereas I'd quite honestly say, I think you can fluke one.
Yeah,
I genuinely do think you can fluke one. You know, granted, you've got to do lots of the right things and be ready to capitalize when that luck comes along. But essentially, you are waiting on something that sometimes you can't manufacture yourself. And that is luck, market conditions. Are there other businesses looking to acquire businesses like yours? Are they going to get the valuation that you want? There's so many things that you can't really control.
Tell me about Gary Vee.
Gary Vee's an interesting bloke. A lot of people say to me, like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? I think if you're asking that question, you're stupid, right? Because good people can sometimes give bad advice. Bad people can sometimes give good advice. You're not exclusively one or the other. I'm not in real life. You're not in real life. Like, there's like black and white, but the majority of us are like different shades of grey, right? But weirdly, the internet has made people, normal people, us watching YouTube videos thinking, I've got to love everything that they say or hate everything they say. There's no kind of like in between with a lot of people. So Gary Vee, I don't think he's a entrepreneur in the sense that he isn't on stage selling a get rich quick shortcut to success, something that he's never achieved himself. However, I think he's a bad guy in the sense that 99.9% of that audience have only gone to that event and had to sit through all of that shit because they're there to hear Gary Vee speak. So while he doesn't say or tell you how to get a shortcut to success and get you to rush to the back of the room and buy some bullshit you don't need to achieve some success that you're never going to achieve yourself, he's the draw for those people. He gets paid from the revenue that they generate because that's how those events work. So how did I end up in Gary Vee's office? So originally, way before the Entrepreneur Formula video, I was doing all these parody posts, right? So I branded myself the UK's #1 demotivational speaker. So I would go around doing demotivational speaking. So I'd tell people, don't follow your dreams. Don't follow your passion. Like, you know, just be settled for the 9 to 5 and blah, blah. It's safer than running your own business. There is some truth in some of that for a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah.
But, so I was doing it as kind of a piss take, right? And I was getting the posts were getting on the radio and stuff like that. So I'd kind of just done that because I was bored. So I was writing a proper book this time, and it was going to be my year as a entrepreneur. So it was me pretending I was a guru for a year, just to say, how far could I push it? What could I do? What could I achieve? I went to a Gary Vee event, and all I wanted to do was ask Gary Vee for a forward for my book, knowing full well that he would say, I don't fucking know you. And that was then going to be the forward of my book. Like, no, I don't fucking know you. A forward from Gary Vee was...
Because you waited in line and a woman asked the same question.
Yeah, she stole my thunder, didn't she? So... So I didn't get to ask a question. So then when I went on stage, I basically said to him, I thought, shit, but I'd been feeling a little bit down because I wasn't doing anything. The worst thing to do when you've got like a busy mind is keep yourself busy. You know, otherwise you start thinking like, am I really happy? Was it all worth it? You know, wow, the destination wasn't as good as I thought it was. Like I thought all my life would be better when I got a lot of money, when the reality is you're on your own. Your mates are all at work. You can't really go and do stuff. Like it's only so long a car feels like it's cool or new or whatever. So I'm not into that kind of shit anyway. But I went there. So I said to him, like, do you know what? Like I sold my business. First thing he said was, so what are you doing here then? Literally, like if you sold your business and you've done quite well, why the hell are you coming to one of these events with all these bullshit speakers on? Like you kind of admitted that. And then he said, I want to know more about this. Contact me on social media and we'll talk further. And I was like, really? So I ended up contacting him online. Then he asked me to come over to New York. I went over to New York. Went in his office, mad setup. He films everything. And other people that were waiting for that meeting, so I was there for free because he'd asked me to come and do it, but other people had paid $15,000 to have that meeting with him, like a 10-minute meeting. No way. And all it is like Dragon's Den. So they come in, sit down, cameras are rolling. Gary Vee gives you a little sound bite, which will be his content that he puts out on TikTok and, you know, post more content, 64 different places. But if their idea was good, he would then try and get involved. Like, oh, do you know what? Like, I'd be interested. Like, I'll help you with social media or I'll invest in your business. If the business was shit, he'd say like, oh, well done. Really good idea. Hope it really works out for you. Let's have a picture and have the picture taken for social media. So he kind of wins regardless. Yeah, you're getting paid for just to have the meeting. And then if it's a good idea, he'll invest in you. If it's a shit idea, you get your social media pictures and you're made up. Because then socially, on your socials, it's like, we met Gary Vee and we were talking about whatever it might be.
Not for 15 grand, I don't think
no,
so.
But it's for some, they see value in it. Again, some people might say that's a scam. But if they see value in it, it's getting his time. And equally, I complain when people want to do it for me for free. Like, why the fuck would I want to stop working to help your business for free? So he's taken that to the extreme, right? Trust me, if I could charge 15 grand for a 10-minute meeting, I would.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But the reality is I couldn't. Or I don't feel comfortable. But I might go, pay me 500 quid and we can chat, you know, what are the 3 problems in your business you want help with, and I might be able to help you. Like,
that's fair enough because you're solving a problem.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, the people there thought it was good value. Me, I was like, what the fuck? This is mad. Because I didn't even know Gary Vee, really. I wasn't a fan or a hater. Long story short, we talked about what we're doing. Told him I was filming at his event. Told him about the Entrepreneur Formula. And it was that event, by the way, that made me come up with the Entrepreneur Formula. Because I watched the same pitch happen like 12 times with 12 different speakers. I was like, it's the same pitch. And so that was where I got the idea from. So if I didn't go to that event, I probably never would have done this thing. And then he said we should take this to Netflix, blah, blah, blah. He wanted to know who the entrepreneur was. I said I wouldn't tell him on camera who I thought the worst person was. Stop the cameras. I told him who it was. He would agree with that. Oh, I can't stand the guy. Bouncing off the walls. He was like, made up it. Yes, it's got to be about him. And then he said, look, we can do this together if you give me 25 grand as a co-produce. And I said, no, I'm doing this anyway. Like, I've already started making the content. Like, I'm here. And he was like, oh no, that was just a test just to see how much you're into this. Like, I want to help you regardless. It wasn't a test. He's tried to pump me for 25 grand. I've not done it because I didn't really need the help. And yeah, so he said he'd introduce him to Netflix, and that was how we left it. And then he never ever spoke to me after that meeting.
Didn't he introduce you to Netflix?
No, but then weirdly I ended up meeting Netflix myself anyway.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and then they robbed the idea themselves, so
well,
cheers, Gary.
Nice one, Gary.
But yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, people always go like, oh, you only don't like Gary Vee now because of what happened with the Netflix thing. Well, I don't dislike him now. He's a business guy, and it was about business, and it wasn't the terms that he wanted. Sound like, I get it. I also wasn't a fan of him before or a hater of him before.
Yeah.
But when somebody like him says that he can introduce it to Netflix and potentially help you out, do something which meant that my content would get seen by more people, you'd be an idiot to sort of like say no to it. But again, same with the comments. People are, you're just salty that Gary fucked you over, or he pulled the wool over your eyes. But it's hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get it with crypto all the time. Oh, you should have sold your crypto when it was worth this. But you didn't know it was only going to be worth that until 3 years later when you're going, actually, that was a peak, you should have sold it there. You know, there's a lot of experts sat in the box of shorts eating pot noodles in the mum's spare bedroom that haven't achieved fuck all. Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah.
They're all experts in after the fact. Well, where's your money? Where did you sell your Bitcoin in that? No, because you've never had fucking Bitcoin. You've never mined Bitcoin, or you've never even been in with a shout of getting a Netflix documentary. So it's shoulda, woulda, coulda for a lot of people, isn't it?
It's a good opportunity to go there though and see.
Well, I was just there to make content, and I made content. Like, so for me, like, I was there. I hadn't paid to be there. It's
a good video to watch.
Exactly, but the number of people now. This is what I say about making content. The number of people now that ask me about the Gary Vee thing, it's opened up so many more opportunities and a bigger audience and stuff like that. And so that's with any content that you make, that's how you need to think about it. It's just amplified. Like, there's people that watch that Gary Vee video now.
Yeah.
So messages, can you just tell me who the entrepreneur was?
And I'm going to ask you after.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. I won't tell on camera though.
All right, fine. Right, 2 things. What's a humble bragger? I know what a humble bragger is, but for people who don't know.
Yeah, it's just mad. Like, if you're pleased with yourself, just say you're pleased with yourself. Like, you know, if you've just bought yourself the new Range Rover SVR and you're made up to fuck that you bought it, and you want to show all your friends that you claim that you don't give a fuck what they think about me on social media, well, don't post then.
Yeah.
You do care, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But let's just play that game where I don't care what people think about me. A humble brag is this, like, you just want to show that you've got a new car or your house is mint or whatever, you spent loads of money on a watch. It's not just post it. I'm fucking made up. I've always wanted one of these watches. I bought myself one. I'm chuffed. Bragging, showing off. That's fine. It's when you go, there's literally like maybe 20 leaves just blowing on your drive, but you've got your new SVR there, parked up, lights on, wheels turned so it looks all nice. God, look at the wind out there today. Like, it's not about the wind though, is it?
It's about the car.
It's just that. And then it's like, whoa, cool car. It's like, oh yeah, that old thing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the only reason you've done the post. So at least if you're going to do it, just fucking own it. So that's what a humble bragger is to me. And there was a big rise. I don't know if it's died down now. One thing my content's done is it's made some people change their prices. It's made some people change their social media strategy. It's made some people change. Some people actually think, I had a guy in here the other week said that he puts his content through like the entrepreneur check before he puts it out now. He goes, oh, if Mike sees this, he'll rip me. So I think if you'll have a little look for the entrepreneur formula, people have actually broken that down and done like breakdown of how it works and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of, even that's like a piece of work that kind of like has stood the test of time and has shaped a lot of people's marketing from that point onwards. The number of people I see now using phrases that we used in that video or referencing things that we said in that video has been blown my mind really that we had that kind of impact. But yeah, so that is what a humble brag is. Like my son raised $5,000 for someone recently. But at no point was I like, oh,
look what he's doing,
like you post about it all online or whatever. Like he just did it.
He just did it.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't need to post.
He wasn't doing it as a way of getting attention. I was so proud of him for doing it. But at no point, because that is sort of like child innocence where somebody like, if I just do this, and then the worse than a humble bragger, do a good deed. Just do a good deed, that's good. Do a good deed, then take a photo of it to put it on social media. It's still good. It's just a bit wanky. But then pretend you've done a good deed and put it on social media. You're like absolute bottom feeder. But there's loads of people like that.
Do people do that?
Loads. Well, you look at, here's an example.
Okay.
Do you remember that guy that was in Wetherspoons, the old bloke? It was like a thing that was doing the rounds on social media recently.
I can't remember.
Old bloke sat on a table in Wetherspoons, can't order himself a drink. So someone goes over, boom, orders him a drink through the app. That story was reincarnated about 100 different times. Everyone saying that they bought this guy a drink and it was a nice heartwarming story. And that, you just...
Really? I didn't know.
Cunts. You're just cunts if you make content like that. Why are you lying about doing good things? You're a narcissist or something. Like,
why would you say that?
No, it's like, do a good deed. Always do a good deed.
Yeah.
Do a good deed without telling anybody you've done a good deed.
Don't
if you
fucking
want.
lie about
but
it.
if you have to tell everyone, because you need that, cool. It's now just slightly more wanky than it used to be. But then to pretend you've done a good deed and then post about it to get loads of praise for something you've never actually done, there's a special place in hell for people like you, I think. So that was all my humble brag content was about.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the humble brag stuff because it resonates a lot.
Yeah. You can be happy about good stuff that you do.
Yeah.
You know, like some people might go, oh, it's a humble brag that you sold your business for 8 million. No, I'm not even being humble about it. Like it is fact. I did it and I'm fucking proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of people can't do that.
100%.
Whereas if a humble brag there might be like, I can't believe I've only gone and sold my business for 8 million quid. Like, oh, I mean, people keep asking me about it, whatever. There's a difference in how you deliver that message. So that's all it was really.
Last one, who to follow? Who's good people for other than me? Who and you?
On what platform?
LinkedIn. All my businesses all my clients B2B.
Dan Kelsel's. Dan Kelsel is good to follow. And Views on My Own. Follow their business page.
There you go.
Yeah.
Views on My Own.
If you are watching this and you're thinking he sounds like he knows what he's doing, viewsonmyown.social. Get involved. I will tell you one thing every week to make your business a little less shit.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
my
very
only
good.
promise.
Yeah, we love the newsletter. And we love the
So
channels.
weekly newsletters, you've got Q&A, you can ask me any questions, I'll try and help you out in your business. We've got meetups, we've got our first meetup in Manchester in July. And it is just a meetup, it's not people selling, it's literally just like meet up, chat about whatever.
Yeah.
Have a few drinks, have a laugh. And video content, stuff like that, so
Nice.
coaching, all sorts.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for being on. Socialise, let's talk.